Kermit the Frog here. Welcome back to LTC 2023.
Indeed, Cactu, we are back at LTC. We are going on to Wave C with pools. And of course, as we got it, this is Glitch Cactus, and I am Devi. We're going to be here commentating host here for a little bit. And oh boy, Cactu, do we have a match coming up for you?
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a great set. Acropora versus OnSU. These teams, I'm fairly confident, are going to pull out all the stops here in this pools set to bring out the best they can to get whatever they need to done, like every team here today.
I mean, like even at a LAN setting, like, of course, we feel that it's already different just sitting down. Like, I know for me, like, I played earlier this morning in Wave A, and just the adrenaline rush that hits you, it's like, you're here, you're now. And I mean, I get that sometimes at home too, but it just hits you, and everyone's just ready to go. You're going to see great matches here. And I think you saw, like, when I got up for one of the matches, my hands were going like this. And I'm like, oh.
That's going to be me after this this commentary block. I'm going right out there into the field and into the trenches.
So a reminder to the people watching that these pools are best of 5 set. And I'm sure people are familiar with majority of the maps by now, but of course, in case you have forgot or are just tuning in, we are in pools round 1. So the first map mode we are going to be starting with is Tower Control Inkblot.
Oh, Tower Control Inkblot, what a great map mode combination. Some little Splatoon 2 throwback there for us.
Yeah, it's a favorite. It's like one of the more #1 picked what's the word I'm looking for? Counter pick stages in like final brackets of Splatoon these days. Along with that and Mako Mart, just basically the returning stages. Sometimes I see Sturgeon Shipyard, but a lot of times it's either Inkblot or Mako Mart, just for how more balanced they are. And of course, I know people are just like, oh, we gotta go play on Inkblot. Why do you like that one? It's balanced more around. Like with the comps that can go on it, you can, any team that has a pretty solid strategy for it, like they'll just make something work throughout there. And of course, with one of the familiar faces coming into with Acropora, we know that they have a couple midliners, a very engaging front line, and they have a backline as well that can also switch to one of the more midline Splatlings.
I wish I had a little bit more information to tell you guys about OnSU, but I think that's what makes it so entertaining, is that we don't know a lot about this team, at least not that I was able to scope out.
There's always that surprise factor.
But you gotta love the surprise factor, because you don't know what they're gonna bring to the table, and that's what makes it so scary, especially if you're the enemy team, because you don't know a lot about them. They could bring out anything. They could surprise you in the littlest way possible, just to really make you struggle out there.
Yeah, so we are just still waiting for this first map mode to arrive up here, but you can just see already, like, the teams are prepping themselves. I can see, like, some of them, they're definitely readying themselves. Some of them are strategizing, which is good. Like, some teams still at a LAN will always want to figure out what the plan is before, and even not at a LAN, like, even just on for the regular online events. Just talking with your team, strategizing, being able to have that specific path in each stage of play, whether it's beginning of the game, like neutral phase, or if you're just going to go to automatic, like aggressive, like offensive, or if you have to play defensive. So you just have to know, like, kind of the state of the game, and whether it's beginning, middle, or late game, and just how to approach it correctly. Like, what's the main point of thing that you want to do? Where should this player be? What's the plan? Do you need to be patient here? Are you going to combo with specials forward in? And I know we will definitely see good demonstration of that for both.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be, the coordination is going to be key today. With that, the last thing you need is to get into any kind of stagger. The last thing you're going to see on screen here, take a look at our players just getting ready to go. They look excited, they look happy, they look hyped up. I would be too, yeah.
Telling their friends, hey, I'm on stream.
Yep. I mean, I'd be excited too. I mean, the big day is here on stream.
Oh, here we go. Okay, now that I can see the roster, Orchid is one that I'm familiar with. Orchid is someone who I've run into open and stuff frequently, especially in S2. And we actually both found each other on Twitter about 6 months ago. And I was like, Orchid, oh my gosh, GG's from all this time. And it was just so great. So now I know I gotta go find Orchid after this and go say hi and be like, I actually get to see you now. Because we can do that here with how much presence there is with Splatoon. It's great to see all these numbers, because I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong later, but I'm pretty sure that we've broken a number record for attendees for LTC this year.
Now we're
compared
really
to
close.
compared to the first Riptide, which I think was what, 2021.
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. And it's great to see a turnout like this. It just goes to show you how much this scene is coming together and just growing over time. And that's something that, sure, the venue's getting packed, but you'll love to see those numbers. It gets everybody excited.
There's the
and
ding.
With that being said, the ding ding, the match is starting. Terror Control on Inkling Art Academy. Let's see what these players are bringing out.
All right, it looks like we've got the double dualies coming out from Acropora, which is a really interesting choice here, and double bucket with the follow-up of the range blaster.
Love
Range blaster is also a really nice pick here with the wave breaker to go around the stacks, and of course the blaster just to camp the sides. We can see that this blaster is definitely going to want to combo with one of these buckets, but we can see that how well it's working right now as the dualies and the splash are both taken out right away for Acropora. So. OnSU getting the early advantage here. No one's taking the tower just yet because they did lose their range blaster. We see a Crab still holding the lead here, just pressuring up the plot. The Nautilus is trying to hold a bit. The drinks have come out there with the...
Drinks have come
I'm
out.
slipping it, but
okay.
they got juiced, as we like to call it in other terms. It is slipping my mind. That double there.
Big
what a nice double there.
2-2 on the board at the moment right now. The Booyah Bomb is ready on the side of OnSU, and they're going to pop that now as Acropora makes their way, try to get to that first checkpoint. The specials are coming out to separate both teams on the board. Acropora now going to finally clear that first checkpoint, even though they are going 2 down. That checkpoint is major here. Now it's up to OnSU to try to clear through mid, get that paint needed as they're going to get a nice, solid direct there on Sep. Incredible. They pop the Wavebreaker down. The Crab is ready on the side of OnSU to continue this push. They are going to pop a Crab now as they head towards the first checkpoint. This might be a 1 checkpoint clear now for OnSU.
Tacticooler was the special I was looking for earlier. I could not remember the name of it for the life of me. But Acropora taking their advantage really well, being able to push up. But of course, OnSU having an answer for that. Now also being stuck on the side as well. They have that little bit of a lead. But again, it is still early game. Anything can happen here. You can see that both these teams are meeting each other in each corner just below the foil ramp of Inkblot here, which is where the main fights always happen on Inkblot here. It's always going up that foil ramp. And we see Wavebreaker coming out from that range blaster. They do get a pick there. They're trying to go for the second one on top. They see that there is 2. Seekit coming around from behind. That is Seekit's specialty. We can see Seekit probably went up from behind, got that flank, and now the rest of Acropora is going to try to go with this little bit of an advantage they have with the Crab trying to lead the way.
This is where things are going to get a little dangerous now for OnSU. As we know already, the checkpoints are cleared. All Acropora has to do is just keep pushing this tower forward little bit by bit. They are able to get the Tri-Slosher down. They are going to get 3 down on the side of OnSU. Acropora gets the full wipeout!
Everybody!
The full wipeout on the board. Now, Acropora are swimming their way clearly to this next checkpoint and are going to try to clear this real quick. The Crab on top of their bunker getting another 2 down here. Acropora showing no sign of slowing down.
As soon as Acropora got past that thing, they kept Mothman on the tower, so that's still applying range on the bottom. They put Brush up on top with that Crab, put those 2 together, and no one's going to want to move in, so they were holding really well here. And it looks like OnSU just about had that answer, just about. They did let that jump go through. However, Acropora is forced to go back in the bottom there as Bats has been cleared out. You can see Mothman just waiting behind their right-hand side, going up on top of the stack, knowing that they have kind of control. They have the point sensors to be able to verify. But this range blaster, I will say, is doing a good job at kind of moving up forward and kind of poking before they go any farther, and then just waiting for a teammate to come closer to help give them paint. You can see right now, like, they're putting blasts out, being shown that they're there, and trying to get someone to come towards them while a teammate isn't far behind, but is going to get caught up in the tri-strike here. Really nice tri-strike just to flush them out, and of course that is 2 down there, but they do take one of Acropora with, and it looks like Skep here is looking to paint around just to build up that tri-strike yet again. We do see Seekit does have special ready. We don't know where that Reef Slider is going to come from, but it's going to come from a corner there. You can see that it looks like it's in the corner. Very nice direct there by the range blaster. Oh,
that's the one thing I love about the range blaster. Just those directs are so satisfying. And as now OnSU tries to keep looking forward to get their push going, Acropora is going to pop the Crab and try to get these players down. They are going to be able to collapse on the Blaster, sorry. They are still holding on to their Booyah Bomb with 50 seconds left on the clock. Acropora now is switching things around on OnSU now in their favor, taking over mid as much as they can. It's going down a 1-for-1 trade. 2 specials are ready. 3 specials on the side of OnSU, but 1 is going to go down. 2 are going to go down. It is just the splash ready on OnSU as another player tries to come back in. Acropora now is not wasting any time. They are pushing the tower. As you can see, they're taking over the enemy plat as fast as they can. The Dualies are trying to get that pick on the Blaster, but it's not going to be in time. The Slosher is going to be able to help with that. They are rushing that tower now to get Acropora's push stop. 20 seconds left on the clock. 2 specials on the ready on the side of Acropora. What are they going to do here, Debbie?
All they have to do is be able to control the main side of the tower path, and that is going to be the left-hand side while keeping an eye on the flanks and the specials at the same time. But it looks like that these specials from Acropora are coming out at really good times, being able to counter before a push is even going to get started. They are not letting OnSU take that other side.
Very nice job done there by Acropora, and I'm not sure, do you see that crab at the end there, shredding through everything, and even the Booyah Bomb popped as an emergency, but when a crab's already going, at a charge like that, it's like Hydra Mom, you tell me.
I was about to say, as a Hydra
what do you know about that?
With the crab is half Hydra, basically, as we know that. And like a full charged Hydra can shred a Booyah Bomb. You have a crab. It, of course, has an even quicker pace of being able to shred that with the damage and output and all that. So it can shred that even quicker. It still has the armor, so if something happens, you can just, you know, roll out of the way. But, of course, it has that power to shred the Booyah Bomb. And, of course, it was in a nice, vulnerable opening for the crab to get that shred, so it worked out really well there, and it was saved at a good time for a cancel there, knowing that OnSU needed that push off the side.
As a splash in myself, I love crab. I'm sorry. Anytime I see it, I'm like, oh, yep, I love that. I'm making notes
Even
right now.
though it's meta, I gave you a good choice, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Hey, big way. Note it here. Like, I'm going to give you the full info. I was splash before it was meta. Thanks, Debbie, right here. Thanks to Debbie. Debbie said, try splash. I was like, okay. Hey, look, it's meta now.
In all honesty, I was just like, you know, I think this is coming in meta, but it fits your play style, so give it a go.
Been a splash main ever since.
I can confirm.
Oh, my God. Incredible. Now, as we start to look.
Oh, here we go. They got a chant going on in the side, top side there.
Chant. Gotta love to see it. Gotta love to hear it.
Yes.
As now we look towards our next map mode, Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard. Another little throwback to Splatoon 2, why don't we?
Again, yeah, very good one here with S2. We're going through here. So comparing to what we've seen on the last match here, both teams have a lot of good neutral play fights. Yes. Acropora had a solid moment on the one side when they got their push, where they had the specials, and as soon as they had advantage, they took it. Compared to at the start, where OnSU actually had the advantage for a solid, I want to say 15, 20 seconds there, and they just seemed slow trying to get to the punch there. For Rainmaker, they need to make sure that they kind of snap to it a little bit quicker so that they can lock out the Dualies players from coming back in to stop them, especially for more of their range. But in this case, oh, look at this, the wiper, but I'm looking at the double Nautilus here. You don't see that too often in many sets. Mothman coming back with the Nautilus here, but it looks like OnSU has their own Nautilus as well, and of course, yes, we do see that wiper. We do know that that wiper, being a little bit quicker than the Stamper, has been showing a lot more play with the extra hammer buff there. Oh, we got the coming around from behind. That would be Rush appearing in with the Splat Dualies, just stalling this player from OnSU from behind, but of course going to get tag teamed with the wiper. But at this point in time, Acropora has this Rainmaker. You can see it, how much control they have here, and actually OnSU playing patient, waiting till they get closer to the checkpoint before they actually splat them, because they don't want to go in the risky territory. Nice move there by OnSU for stopping that Rainmaker and just kind of being patient, even though it is close to the checkpoint.
Absolutely, and as we see here, they pop Rain. They're trying to get control of their plat as soon as possible, forcing the remaining members of Acropora to back up here, but Acropora now still has that little bit of advantage as they slip off the map.
I've done that many times. I've done that many times.
The curse of the bridge. Crab is going to finish up here as we see his 1v1 go down to make it a 2v1. They're going to get the pick on the Tetra Dualies right now with Hammer ready coming out from Slim Java, going in with it. Is he able to find a pick here? But no,
not quite. Just couldn't get the turnaround.
Had the answer.
Really close there. I could see the hesitation if they wanted to keep going or if they wanted to throw it at the splat leg there to see it be really quick. I think it could have ended up in a trade, but of course it is like really split-second time of making that go. But we see Acropora here. Skep was on the side, just keeping pain up, knowing that the bombs are coming forward. Rush with those splat dualies just also on the side, because we can see that mid is in control of OnSU right now. Seekin just kind of getting ready on the bottom, but the Viper gets picked off. In return with the Nautilus, Acropora trying to find a way up, but there is a Tri-Slosher up there that does manage to get picked off.
Oh, the Autobomb pick on the Slim Jabba trying to come in with the super jump. Both both dualies on the side are going to get another pick down on the splash. And Acropora is looking to get their next push going here to try to finally secure the checkpoint. A 1v1 trade goes down. They are able to get the Nautilus as well off the side of OnSU. But the Tri-Slosher's here, but they're going to get the pick as well. This is going to be a checkpoint. That's going to be delayed wipe on the side of OnSU. Acropora now taking over as much of OnSU's play as they can, able to get the pick on the Splatana. They're going to go for the pop here and continue this aggression they have trying to get this KO.
This is a really good push off of Acropora there. You could see just even from the other side of the map, you could see how members of Acropora were actually shifting to the other side where they needed another member to help in the fight happening in that corner. But of course, Acropora here going to go for a little bit more points. We know how hard it is to get up that ramp, and we know that Acropora, like, I think they realized with the situation they were in, that is a nice just catch pick there by the Tri-Slosher, by the way. They just kept following up. They got the extra points. They knew they were going to go down, so now they can all jump back in, reset in mid. They do have the control in mid at the moment. They are ready to go and face OnSU yet again in mid as a crab has burst out. You can see Seekin and Mothman going around to the side here. They're trying to fight this, but Orchid does team up with the crab and is able to pick, two of them do go down. It wasn't the two that were in that corner, but two of them did end up going down. In return for the one, you could just see that crossfire happening in the pit there from going over to the other view. That was great, but there we go. Wipeout on the side of OnSU. Acropora getting that wipeout there. They have a chance now to take it to one of the sides, and I think they are going to attempt to take it to the top left here or stall it out a little bit, as there is a minute and 20 seconds left on this clock. And it looks like, well, here we go again. Mark the tally.
Jumps down. That's going to be the latest wipeout on the side of OnSU, as Acropora has opted to take it top left. Rain has come out on the side of OnSU, but these players are not lighting up at all. But the dualies, once again, has slipped off the edge. Reef Slider comes out just in time to get the good pop on the Rainmaker, as these dualies are now dodging everybody going down with a trade. That is huge on the side of Acropora right now, as OnSU now gets the jump in to try to come back to plat. The dualies now in the pit trying to get as much paint up as possible. They're going to opt to pick up the Rainmaker.
That is a very interesting choice.
They only have 45 seconds left on the clock. They could have just let that reset, but I guess they have an idea to push this a little bit further. See if they're able to get another pick here. So Slosher is trying to fight one of the players down. Are going to get them down below under the bridge there in mid. Dualies are going to go down, one sharking underneath. It is the 3v4, and OnSU now needs to try to get a push going.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a call-out to pick up the Rainmaker, or unless if they just accidentally grabbed it. But I mean, they may have it, Cactu. But look at how far they're getting. Although this Reef Slider is going in, there is extra push. You can see the Rain coming out too. The Rainmaker isn't actually moving to a safer side here, and it's just there's so much poke on this Rainmaker, it was going to go down. And with this much time left, it's only the Tri-Slosher versus all of Acropora, so this game looks like it's going to come to a close in favor of Acropora.
Excellent job done there by Acropora, just not lighting up for even a second. Didn't give OnSU a single opportunity to push that Rainmaker past. I believe that was 83. Yeah, it was just an amazing job overall by Acropora, working together so well, being able to read off of each other, how they're playing, and just really stumble OnSU here.
I love how two members of Acropora's gear are two different parts of the mech suit. You got the boots on one, and then the Nautilus holding with the arms. And I'm like,
love it. You have to love it.
You can see Acropora is just kind of feeling their morale is boosted now. They have 2 wins under their belt, and OnSU now just needs to realize, okay, this is how they're doing it. If they can realize that how well Acropora can move, because Acropora has a lot of speed on the front line. They have Seekant with the Tetras, they have Rush following up with the Dualies, and then Mothman or Skep is close behind, depending on what side they are. But you can see that one person, they must be doing help calls, and I believe they probably are with how quick they're moving. Like, you can see the crossfire coming in. It's like a second shot of help, or someone's saying where they're going. You can see the follow-up there from Acropora, especially on some of those pit moments there where they were going towards the checkpoint. They were really key there, and just continuing to move forward. Acropora is getting more 2v1s in this case, and catching out one of the other front lines first, and then they can get a solid push off of it after probably, it's usually just before the first minute hits, and then they're able to get that pretty solid push afterwards. But I will say OnSU is putting up a solid fight too, because they're making Acropora work for it at the start of the games.
Absolutely.
So if they can keep that for the rest of the game, or just be more patient and adapt and wait and then just flush them back out and then do the same thing coming back in, they can hold Acropora back.
And that's probably going to be the plan they're going to try to go with here. It looks like they're opting for double splash on the side of OnSU as we start a match on Clam Blitz Mana Maria. Acropora now trying to look to see if they can make this a solid and quick 3-0. Both teams now, their players rushing up to mid, taking up as much paint as they can. See where these first fights might go. The strikes come out really early by Secant here to try to get as much space as possible. Duelies going in but backing up because they are fighting a knot there. Being able to play it nice and slow until they have to. They're trying to team up here, get a pick. They are able to get 2 down at the same time, looking for that third. They have Crab ready on this splash, but they're going to try to back up, try to save it. They are able to get 1 and stay alive. Make that a reverse 2 down now on Acropora. Crab is going to come out on the side of OnSU, and they are going to try to take back mid and start to see if they can make their push here.
That was a really nice kite move that OnSU did, and that means like when someone is rushing you, you're moving back and using your range to space them out, to kind of zone them out. And OnSU backed up as they knew that the Tetras were rushing and just managed to help paint the feet, get a pick on 1 out of the 2 of them, and then just play patient until they could go back in again. Secant here definitely just going back in, dropping down, and rolling around, and we can see that Skep does get picked down on the side. And it looks like we got a follow-up there in the corner, so it does end up being a trade. But Acropora is still out here with the advantage. And we see that Rush is taking plat, kind of painting it, juggling around here. They've got a pretty solid clam economy right now, too, Cactu. They are looking for a way to go in here.
They have every clam that spawns on the map, and as soon as I said it, Commentators cursed. They dropped 7 of them. Unfortunately, Doodley's going down here. Great job by OnSU, making sure they apply a lot of pressure. Although, like, OnSU, they can get as many picks as they want, but they're not getting the picks they need. But there is 1. They got the pick down. They are going to form the power clam on the side of Acropora. With only 6 clams, though, to OnSU's name, they got to look for a couple more if they want to make this push worth it. The strikes are going to come out to stall OnSU a little bit more, as now they take a little bit more pressure now on the sides, as we could see. The fight is going to go down.
Oh, the patience there by Secant. I don't know if you saw that, but Secant was literally swimming on the wall right underneath those 2 players from OnSU and just waited for the moment to strike when they weren't looking, right? And then just went for it. And what a nice patience play there by Secant. Getting another one here, moving in, does have that reef slider at the ready. Here they go, is able to get a pick off of that. Acropora does get the score. They are 2 down. We see Secant going in for that battle yet again, able to win that 1v1 as well. And we can see the Tri-Slosher going in, getting the 2. Here's the Tri-Slosher power that we all know and see, is that you can just run in and slosh. Who needs full-on aim?
You gotta love it. That's one of the... This is why this map is so good for sloshers, even in buckets in general. You have so many ledges that you could just shoot over just to apply a lot of pressure and even get a couple of picks. As we see here, they're trying to apply more pressure on the dualies. Unfortunately, they are going to go down thanks to the dualies' fast movements. And Acropora now just making sure they hold as much pressure in mid as possible with 2 minutes left on the clock. 3 specials ready on the side of OnSU. They are going to pop 1 crab now, try to get those dualies out. The dualies are going to be able to jump out and get out of the way. They try to see if they can pressure any more players on the side of Acropora, but it's going to be unsuccessful. They tried to pop another crab, but it goes down immediately.
I didn't see how that went, but that had to have been a bomb explosion somehow there. But 2 just kind of exploded off the side there. And what a pick there. Reef Slider's going in, does get a pick. Secant's trying to get the other one, but does get taken down by the picks and the burst bombs. We see Mothman trying to follow up, but doesn't quite have enough charge / ink. And we can see OnSu's trying to pick up that clam and just push back here. I can't remember what side of the map we're on all of a sudden.
I'm going to say that we're on Acropora's side. That's all I'm going to say here. But now we're topping back. Here we go. The crab is ended on the side of OnSU. They pop another crab on their bunker, but it's unfortunately get shot out immediately, making sure it's not going to get any type of advantage from it. 1 player is going to go down. They're going to try to get another, and they get 2 down. The Slosher's trying to go in, but that is a 3 down situation on the side of OnSU. Now Acropora, as we see, are not wasting any time whatsoever. They're throwing a lot of specials out on the floor to try to apply a lot of pressure.
Very good rain.
They're making sure they have as much space as possible as they need to push in and keep scoring. They are putting a lot of pressure. The Crab comes out, able to get one, able to get a two, get another two. Amazing job.
That is a solid 2.5 there from Rush's Crab, and just even the point sensor from Mothman marking 3 of them. That just purely outlines it for a Crab, Cactu.
Oh, absolutely. It's literally doing the job a Crab needs without having to get those tap shots or opening up your map. You just see where the players are. If you hit them, you know where they are. The Crab pops out on the side, tries to get a solid pick on that Nautilus, but they are forcing them back. Seeking now coming behind the Crab and is able to get the pick, but it's going to be a quick pick off. 5 seconds left on the clock. The Nautilus has the power clam, both sides. Sorry, I have them. It's a 3v3 situation. Overtime is starting. If you don't know about clamlets, you have 20 seconds in overtime, and one is going to go down. As going to be the Tri-Slasher down onto. Going to be able to go. All 3 are tagged though. They're trying to see if they can get any kind of push going here. But with no specials online, they just have to hope for anything and just push in for it. They're going 2 down though with roughly probably 5 seconds left on the clock. What is onto going to do? It might not be anything. It is unfortunately nothing.
Goodness.
Acropora.
Your
pressure.
Indeed,
You
Acropora is showing that, and I think that is something Acropora has been working on for a while now. It is how to maintain that consistent pressure and just to be able to enable their front line while still having their back line come in to do more power. So Mothman going on the Nautilus here, able to move up with the 2. So the pressure from Seekant and Rush there with the dualies, and again Skep just not far behind with that splash, able to just apply a lot of forward pressure there, and you could see that they were getting a little bit, they were panicking OnSU a little bit there, but they had a couple of good times there. And even again, that is it, OnSU's Nautilus person there. I don't know if you saw it, Cactu, when I said the good rain. Yeah. If you realize what is it, because they were down respawning back in. The Nautilus popped the rain to actually put it down the street, because that's why Acropora didn't rush the clam. They were waiting for the rain to stop because they knew it was going to poke them, and then OnSU could have went on for them. So that's really great, like observing awareness from Acropora. Also really good defense strategy just to help your teammates get back in and stuff. Then you can use the rest of your resources. Really solid one there. And of course they had a pretty close second there trying to get back, and they were definitely putting up some good fights in neutral there.
Oh yeah, it pays to know a lot about this game. It pays to know what everything does. The more you know about this game, the more you're able to really identify what's happening. You're able to really put that to your advantage. Like you mentioned before, they knew that Rain was going to offer some chip damage on them, get their health lower and lower. So any little thing, even like a soda, you know what I mean, the soda?
Fizzy bomb?
Yeah, yeah, the fizzy bomb.
I was like, okay, I messed up Tactical earlier. That's also a soda. Oh, fizzy bomb.
Bad, double soda, you know. But, you know, the pressure of that, even like if you're just caught without the rain, then that can be a dangerous situation that you're in. But with the rain, it's just a good combo. It means a bad time. So props to Acropora, just knowing a lot about this game and being able to coordinate so well with each other, which is amazing. It's something you don't see a lot with teams nowadays. It's just that level of coordination, that level of just knowing your teammates to be able to just react in an instant whenever they need it.
And that's something there, especially with like the familiar name of Acropora. Again, they have all that team stuff. But I have seen pickups also pick it up like really quickly. And I know that there's a few here as well that we will probably see like later on, of course, in the top brackets that are pickups. But you'll wonder if they were like an actual team from before for how consistent and like teamwork they can be. It depends on how much preparation they did beforehand.
Absolutely. I think the best thing about it, especially if you're doing a form of pickup, is being able to get that practice in for an event like this. Even if it's not an in-person LAN tournament, you're talking about even just tournaments in general. If you're able to just get that amount of practice in, even just to try to understand what each other play, how their play style is, you know, get used to their call-outs or things like of that nature. I know a lot of teams go out there and have their own call-outs for whatever it may be on a map. You know, if someone might call like, you know, bunker.
Mushroom.
Yeah, mushroom. I call it big clam. I call it big clam.
You call it big clam. Another word for its foot. We're talking about the kind of like middle tree on Inkblot, right in front of kind of the clam blitz.
Right when you first
that has like 3 different names. I think the main call out for it is a clam or foot. but I call it a mushroom.
What?
uh,
Oh my gosh.
But yet my team knows what it does, and I call like deeper sides on maps wings. So also for Inkblot, a lot of people would say like right tree because there's actually that legit tree on like the right hand side.
Right.
I call
Yes.
it a wing because if you look at the map, they look like little boxed wings, and Manta
Yes.
Maria has the same thing. So I just transfer that to another, and I mean I haven't even had to. I've had to explain it to a few people like what a wing is. But once I told them, I'm like, if you look at the map on this layout on the overhead, doesn't it look like the map has wings?
what's the more popular one that call wings? Hagglefish.
Hagglefish has
Right?
got wings
yeah,
too.
Yeah, that's probably the most popular one I hear the call for go to wings because it's. And I like to think of it like a pigeon. Because pigeons
Now we're gonna
always
start
have.
cooing.
They always have their arms on the side, so I feel like it's like a pigeon's wing. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's my East Coast talking.
Yeah, and also going difference of bombs here because we've got like the soda from the Tacticooler and
Yeah.
we have the fizzy bomb.
Yeah.
Could go Canadian, call it a pop can.
They're popping pop.
Exactly. When you open it, it goes pop.
Yeah.
So I
My hands
know,
are tied. You got me. You got me.
I get the people here are always just like, what is it? OBT, who was on stream here earlier, always tells me
OBT?
that my Canadian talk is like Looney Tunes. So, and I'm like, but that's how it is.
What was it? Was parking garage. Right?
Yes.
What do you call it?
They were like, okay,
Parkade?
where's the nearest parking garage? And they're like, you know what a garage is? And I'm just like, I mean, you mean the one that's attached to your house and all that stuff? But I answered no, so they thought I was crazy. And then when I overheard the conversation, I'm like, parking garage. You mean this parkade, right? And they thought I was insane. I was like, hold on. Does nobody else call it a parkade?
I think that makes it fun. I think that would make it the most fun about it. Just knowing the different names for everything.
Sometimes I feel so lost here, but I'm like, this is me. I guess I'm a Looney Tune.
Oh my God, we're all Looney Tunes in this world, honestly. I mean, look at Splatoon in general.
This is where you have
the most Looney Tune looking game
I mean,
out
you have
there.
the Kermit the Frog impression. You're a Muppet.
Yeah, I am. If you're just tuning in, yeah, that's how I introduced our welcome back. It's
Kermit the Frog here. Frog is now on your commentary stand.
The most I could do is a really funky toadette, but I don't think I want to do that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Took a lot
I
to
don't
get that
feel like
Kermit out.
hurting viewers' ears after
Jokes,
that
yeah.
one. After that one silly comp Sunday, that was the time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Love to see it.
But yeah, everything's been swell here. Of course, yesterday, great time. Of course, I got here early. You got here yesterday.
No, you had a great time.
Yeah, we.
Let's talk about your great time you and everyone else had. While I was busy having 3 hours worth of delayed flights. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. But anywho, we're over here, and it's just even, being back on mic again, of course, because last year I was on mic for, of course, LTC last year, and then it was also on the Riptide mic and on the Big House mic. And now just being back here again a year later, like you can compare the two VODs. It's like, look at us from here and now, even when I had like with different comp partners too, right? Just like kind of the excitement, the enthusiasm, and like what all changed. I know for me, it's just like, my hair's red.
That's valid.
Otherwise,
that's
I'm
valid.
kind of basically
That's
still
valid.
me.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I've only recently, within the past year, started my commentary journey. And I'd say my last LAN, which was literally the Big Dapple, like maybe a month or so ago.
Oh yeah.
So that was my first like in-person LAN. So for me to go like, oh yeah, look at me back then. That's everything's the same. The only difference is I'm wearing a jersey. I still wore the backwards cap. You can watch those VODs. You can see it. I was still wearing the hat. That's my
Jack,
branding
I think
now.
you worn that hat at each LAN that
I
I've
did.
seen you
It's
at.
my favorite hat.
Yep.
I have another one that says Chester Cheeto.
Oh.
You know the Cheeto, the Cheeto mascot.
Oh, I think
Chester
so.
the Cheeto.
Yeah.
I have
okay.
a
actually
hat
know
of that.
this.
Yeah, I have a hat of that. I just don't wear it. I don't know. The Splatoon hat just does it for me.
I
They're
mean,
both
I have a
trucker
hat that
hats.
actually says Mama Hydra on it with my name underneath
Oh,
of
see,
it.
that's cool.
But
I need a
throw that
cactus
on.
hat
I'll
now.
throw that on later.
I need a cactus hat. That's it. That's my next branding idea. Got
Oh
the
my
jersey, the
goodness.
pins. I gotta make a hat now.
Yeah, another thing for here is just kind of also like meeting everybody else as well, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Like for here, I was able to meet a few people who I've helped out in the past. Of course, other teams, faces that I haven't seen yet throughout this entire time. And of course, like I run the Grillers. I've been in this scene for 5 years, running the same squad. I don't know what being a free agent's like, but you know,
I could tell you. I could tell you, Debbie.
I think you have told me
I could
because I've
tell
helped
you.
you scout. But you meet all these people and like all the talent and all that stuff, and like it helps out captains. It also helps out
Absolutely.
the free agents because you can always pick up somebody who's like trying to find a team or look for another place at lands like this. I know I had that opportunity last year that helped me out. And can help a bunch of other people out as well. So, and then other people who are just like, hey, yeah, that's you. You just, maybe we could talk about Splatling things sometimes. And I'm like, yes.
Yes. Yes. Hey, they call you the Hydra Mom for a reason. Honestly, I think that's probably one of my favorite things about LAN. So just being able to connect with people and even just like talk to them in person. It's so different. It's such a different feeling being able to besides like go on Discord and hear the ping. It's another thing that just hear your name out there, you know, in the real world. This is crazy. It's so much fun though. That's why I love coming to LAN. It's had to be my favorite part. It's just meeting people you've talked to before, even new people. You find out.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, talking to other teams, like you find out who their teammates are. If they're playing, maybe they're forming a pickup at one of these lands. You're meeting those new pickup players who then now know you, or maybe they've already known you, or maybe you've heard of them before. Maybe you ran into solo queue, you versed them in a tournament, you versed them in a scrim, name it. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, I know for me there's a good number of people who I've like talked to, but now I have to remember either what they look like or match their voice if I know them in VC. Or they just kind of like remind me of their name, and I'm like, okay, search through my data bank here. Oh yeah, right.
The
And it's just
internal
like I'll
data bank.
eventually remember. Like my long-term memory is pretty decent.
Hey, I give you props, not mine. Not mine. Not mine.
Don't worry, we help.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, my long-term and short-term memories a lot sometimes.
Oh my goodness! So we got some hype going on at some of the other games there.
Oh,
there
yeah,
we
you
go.
can hear
Oh
it.
wow!
You can hear
Wowza.
it.
I
Oh
know
my
it's just
goodness.
there's a lot of good hype here. And speaking of hype, what is it? Me and Cacti were talking before we even came on the mic at definitely some of the names in this wave that could be seen or that are playing right now behind the scenes.
Why it's probably so loud, honestly. these are big sets. These are big names. We got lucky. You and I got lucky. We have big names in this pool.
And familiar ones.
incredible.
Like we already got to see Acropora. That's a familiar mid-level team in the scene right now.
Oh, yeah.
The big name in these pools, I think, to keep note of is Sonder. Sonder is here and is in this wave.
I forgot about that.
Yep, Sonder is in this wave right now. And a couple other
Cooking.
familiar names that we know is Persistence, Ink Sync, Destiny Troops. They're all in this wave and playing right now. Familiar names that I'm sure you guys know from in the scene. If you're new to the scene, they are known teams.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to hear from them, like you could ask somebody like, hey, who's this team? And I'm sure they could tell you like their history or what they're known for. Those are the teams to keep an eye on that are like inspirational teams for new players. So yeah, Sonder is back here playing. We have DT. Hi.
For those who can't see, I have Popkin towering over me right now. I don't think he liked my welcome back impression with Kermit the Frog. I'll have to talk to him after. I better go. He might rough me up in the parking lot.
Popgun, for those who don't know Popgun, of course, the Popcast host, usually the grand finals commentator for like low ink and
You'll be
everything.
seeing him tomorrow, actually. He's
yes,
commentating
I'm pretty
the
sure,
top 16 or top 8 tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure Popgun is commentating grands tomorrow. But this is also his send-off to competitive, to retire from competitive. And
gotta get his signature one more time. I'll have him sign my arm. I'll be like, hey, Popgun, you want to sign right here? Maybe I will. Why not?
Don't wash it.
Yeah. Oh my God, Popgun, you signed my arm. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll never wash this arm again.
Put that in the records there. Oh my goodness.
I'll put it on my Sendu profile. Popgun signed my arm. Oh my gosh! But I want to touch up on what you were saying earlier about the teams to look out for, but also I want to talk about the different levels of teams you see at events like this.
Oh yeah.
Because think about we're talking about big names like Sonder, a couple other ones like we see in Acropora all the time, but like you see sometimes like for new players out there, if like you're looking at this event, you're wondering who these. Like, you can find their players like anywhere. Discord, Twitter, you name it. You always see it announced somewhere. That's why I like a lot of the tournament organized social media accounts, because they always ping who the team's Twitter, and you can go from there and see who those players are. But it goes to show you, when you come to events like this, like, teams make names for themselves. Because, like, sometimes you see a team, like, take a game off of maybe a really good team that you've heard of before. Maybe you haven't. But it gets your name out there. Like, whoa, wait, that team took a game off who?
Yeah.
And it's like that little information can go a long way. It's how a lot of teams get out there. That's how their names get out there. I mean, you look at the big Nintendo tournaments you see out there. Teams come out of nowhere because they took a game off of, like, I don't know, Starburst, Jackpot, someone in the Western scene, and it's like, whoa, who are you, and how did you do that?
Yeah.
Because there's been teams who have been trying to for a while, and they haven't. So that's why I love events like this, because, a team beats a common name, a household name team, if you will, and then it gets people intrigued. It gets people, like, interested. That's what's so great about this, is just everybody being able to connect like that, able to, get their name out there.
And here, of course, like there's all sorts of levels of teams, and it's glad that all gets to play, all gets the experience between all these one. Like in the pools, there's always like that one big team name, and of course, it depends on if you get to play them in the bracket or not. But usually, you get to play either like the first seed or the second seed, and they give you quite the challenge to work through. And then after like the first game, I know my mind goes into full-on strategy mode. Like, okay, this is what their main thing is here. This is what their weakness is. Let's see if we can do this to counter it. And of course, you may have that strategy put in play, but sometimes you can't put it fully into effect, just because, like, these players are mechanically skilled. They have practiced this game a lot. They can hit what they want to, and all that stuff. So you just kind of have to be aware of that. And even though you're trying to make an effort to go it might not always succeed. But the best thing you can do is pat yourself on the back for trying. And a lot of people, the mentality would be like, oh, no, we weren't able to get this, even though, like, this is what the plan was, or we just couldn't succeed in it. No, you want to pat yourself on the back anyway, because if you're going against a team like that, and you made the effort to it, and you maybe got something out of it, but not, like, the complete outcome you want, that's still pretty good. It's a work in progress. Now you just have to work on the mechanics and just, like, tweak it, like, make it, like, perfect it. And of course, like, you can never really perfect anything. Like, you can do something by, as we like to call it, like a textbook play, like as if you like read it off a textbook, and then you just like do that completely, would be your textbook play. But being able to pull something like that off is pretty good. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's, I think, the number one thing a lot of even new players should start getting to the rhythm of, is just not letting a loss, put you down. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a loss, but it's not your only loss. Just because you didn't win, it's no big deal. You have a chance to come back. Just take the time to review what you played, how you played. I mean, now what we have in Splatoon 3, the replay codes. Yes. Now people are able to watch back the full game and see, how did I get into a situation where I got splatted? How could I have changed this outcome? What could I have done differently? Maybe my mechanics, maybe my just knowledge of the game. Was there anything that maybe I missed that I clearly should have saw? And then, we have the resources out in the community. There's all types of coaches out there. There's all types of informational servers and Twitter accounts that are even just asking. Like, you'd be surprised who you can ask in this community, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, I got you here. You just do this. Like, whoa, like, I didn't know you were this, like, chill. And I think that's what people forget. It's like, we're all humans here. Cactu, you did this big thing in asking a bunch of big names about, like, their sensitivity preferences, right? Yeah, my video. And I know a lot of newer people will see, like, these big names, see, like, how much followers and stuff that they have, and be like, I don't think they'll ever want to respond to me and all that stuff. But it's just like, it never hurts to ask. They'll look at it eventually. Yes, of course, busy times. Yeah. But they'll always see it at some point in time, and a lot of them will always give you helpful advice or just something quickly to refer to explain their point without having to, like, put it out in a storybook format. Yeah, exactly. And, as someone who's personally asked some of the top names in the Splatoon community, I mean, you name it. Prochara, that SRP2 dude, Kiver from Alliance Rogue. I mean, you name it, I've asked, and they got back to me. Mind you, I'm not a big creator. I'm not someone who's all over the place, but they respond and they show the interest, whatever it might be you have to ask. For my case, it was about sensitivity. But if you
that player for playing a certain weapon, or maybe you have a skill or something that you wish to learn, doesn't hurt to ask. They will respond, and if they don't, hey, let's like you said, Debbie, maybe they're busy. You never know. Everyone's got a busy schedule these days. Things are happening all the time. People get busy.
I know sometimes when I see the notification, like I'll look at it, read it, and be like, I don't have time to respond to this, and then I forget about it because I clear it, and then when I go back and check my DMs, I'm like, wait,
yeah. Let me respond to this real quick and just apologize.
I kind of need to answer this, and then I'll take when I have a free moment to actually get it there. Okay.
Alrighty.
But anyway, while it looks like just a few more of the rounds are just taking a bit to finish up here, we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back.